let's talk about people getting a flu shot or getting a avian flu inoculation. There's another very insidious disease, if you will, which is really a man-made disease. It's a biological construct called MERS coronavirus out of the Middle East. It's the Middle East Respiratory Syndrome. It's made its way into Europe to a certain extent, and eventually, because of air travel, it will reach around the world. It's another example of where inoculations or vaccines are being derived, or they're trying to derive for. That, again, I always like to go all the way to the end. What's the purpose? What's the goal? If you have a man-made or engineered virus, why was it created? Is it simply just to kill people? Well, that's one part of it, but if you go further and you go deeper than that, it is to get people to demand a vaccine, a shot, if you will, or a pill. Why would, if you're in a position of control, of power, of ultimate power, why would you want people to demand a vaccine? Well, it's because something's in the vaccine that you want people to then have as a part of their body. Well, what is in the vaccine that you want everybody to have inside their body? It is a DNA manipulator or modifier. I mentioned earlier third-strand DNA. There is already, and you can find this on the internet, in existence, a third strand of DNA constructed of silicon. Again, we go back to the silicon chip in computers. The third strand is made of silicon and is also coated in gold. If you talk about nanotechnology and nano layers, this is extremely thin coating of gold down to a billionth of a millimeter of gold that is coating the silicon from which you are building a third strand of DNA. The purpose of the gold is to increase the surface area around this strand so that more information can be digitally imparted or programmed. You're essentially, what you're doing is you're creating a third strand of DNA. You are transferring that or imparting it into a person's body through a vaccine that person's demanding because they're afraid of contracting MERS coronavirus or avian flu or whatever it may be. And so the government, if you will, or the powers that be sit back and they kind of chuckle when they say, well, we couldn't have forced people to take this vaccine or to take this hidden third strand of DNA. They would rebel against it. But if we create the problem and present the solution, people will demand the solution. Thus we achieve our ultimate goal of having this DNA in every person changed. Well, let's go deeper. What's the goal? What's the purpose? Yeah, you go around and change everybody's DNA. What do they become? They become a hybrid. The insidious part of this is that once a person is injected, almost immediately their DNA undergoes transformation. Almost immediately they lose all awareness of the fact that they've lost their independence, their ability to think on their own, to make decisions on their own, and to affect them on a moral level. Their moral independence, their beliefs, religious, moral, ethical, legal, all of those go away. If you remove the independent thought and that awareness that you've lost your independence is gone, what then do the powers that be do with these new forms of humans, hybrids? They can control them. They can turn them into a serf class. Not S-U-R-F, not surfers, but S-E-R-F. a class of slaves to serve the elite, to serve the Ray Kurzweils of the world who want to achieve immortality, but they need to have labor to manufacture, develop all of the technologies. And they have enough technologies now. The technology, the scientific world, if you will, has reached the level where they don't care about hiding it anymore. Their agenda is so far advanced, both politically, philosophically, their sense of morals, and technologically, that no longer are they worried about you and me as the serf class and the coming serf class. They're not worried about what we think. They're not worried about us rebelling. And in fact, we won't rebel, partly because right now we've been so dumbed down through a variety of mechanisms. But once people demand the virus and they truly are dumbed down to where they've lost that awareness that something's happened to me, now they can do what they want with us. They are achieving what I call the hive mentality, like a beehive. Worker bees, soldier bees, serving the queen. The queen, in my estimation, is this elite class that's in power, and it's not the politicians. Forget the politicians. This has nothing to do with Republicans, Democrats, Tea Party, Libertarians. It has nothing to do with political structure or classes. It has to do with the small group that is in control and has been in control since ancient times.
March the 7th, 2020. Guys, I want to keep this video short and I want to be straight to the point as I can be. And I want to tell you this is the most alarming video that I've ever done as far as me looking at the situation and feeling the need to warn my friends. But guys, the virus epidemic is spreading very rapidly. The top article says Italy places Milan region under quarantine as Seattle cases, deaths jump, live updates. Next article, police quarantine California neighborhood after a coronavirus death. The orders were given under sections of California Health and Safety Code to enforce regulations requiring strict isolation or quarantine if the action is necessary for the protection of the public health. Same as in China, same as in Italy. Listen, it's not just Milan. Italy has shut down 11 sections or 11 different areas of their nation. They're going to report tonight. I'll do an update if I can get it from Rome. But again, 11 states now are in quarantine in this area. And guys, in the article below, and I'm going to link to both of these articles. I'm going to keep it short. But the police have roadblocked off this area in California. And let me pull it up. Again, guys, this is very important. Things are really going downhill fast. And it's saying the police in the Sacramento suburb of Rockland, California, ordered residents on one residential street to stay inside their homes as officers in protective gear patrol the area as a sheriff's helicopter circled overhead. You want to see a movie? Not this one. The reason a man who became California's first coronavirus victim lived on the block. Residents were kept in the dark until after they were allowed to leave their homes. In other words, here's these police cars, helicopters swarming into a neighborhood, yours or mine or anywhere else. And it was a long time before anyone told anybody anything. But if they stuck their heads out of the homes, they were told to get back in the house. It was hours later before anyone knew really what was going on. But someone died there of this virus. Guys, it has mutated, and there's a neurological section of this that is shutting down your organs, your ability for your lungs to breathe, regardless if we know that it's a major lung infection, but neurologically the signal from your brain to your lungs to breathe is being cut off. And there's a lot of problems with organ failure. It's much more than what we think, and it's spreading so fast we're about to come into a major shutdown. You saw the video this morning about APAC, and there's a link there, and I want you to go back to that video, and there's a link that I put in that says the speakers at APAC, and there were a couple of pages of them, and they were dentists and doctors from all over this nation and from other places around the world, politicians from both sides of the aisle, from many different nations. But there again, I saw dentists, doctors from here that were there, and talk about a hot mic. The list I put was not the 16,000 people that attended, but the people that spoke on that platform over a 3-day period from the 1st to the 3rd of this month, as they were telling everyone else to be careful. But it says the Placer County Health Department issued a brief statement shortly after the police presence stating law enforcement partners are currently responding to enforce a health officer's order. Now, see, one of the problems is we're not used to this, not our law enforcement, not our mayors or anything else. Nobody's, or anyone else, excuse me. No one's used to this, so it's kind of like, okay, shut the street down. They may not have all the information yet, but so you create panic. Okay? This has never happened in our nation. Not on this level, not in this scale, not with this population. It says, again, law enforcement partners are currently responding to enforce a health officer's order. We cannot share any additional information to protect patient confidentiality. The orders were given under sections of California's Health and Safety Code, again, that allows Placer Health to enforce regulations requiring strict isolation or quarantine if the action is necessary for the protection of the public health. The quarantine order came one day after Placer County Public Health announced the death of 70-year-old resident. As what they're not giving us much information. If they would, as far as the symptoms and what is happening and this neurological block that's going on between the two strands. But if you go to BP Earthwatch, go there and look on the right in a red box that says coronavirus information. Click there and you'll see the Johns Hopkins, and you'll see how rapidly this is spreading. Guys, I've been extremely busy today. I wanted to go in and actually look at the numbers. You had, and let's go there for just a moment. And if you go there, bpearthwatch.com, right here under breaking news, it says coronavirus cases. And that leads you to the Johns Hopkins site. Click there. Guys, in just 2 days ago, we were at 99,000 cases confirmed. And we know these numbers might be correct or may not, especially in the U.S. because of the lack of testing. But look at this, guys. Look at now all the states involved that have red dots. And in Seattle, you got one death, 27 confirmed in Snohomish County. And that, go to King County, confirmed 71 with 15 deaths. And these recovered numbers, guys, that you see, you better attribute that more than likely to a regular flu or regular coronavirus, not this one. But look at this, mainland China, South Korea. Mainland China, of course, 80,000. South Korea, 70,000. But look at Italy and Iran, both at 5,800 plus. France, Germany, others, Spain, Japan, U.S., this is ticking up 401. If you click on this, 17 deaths, 15 in King County, the one in Placer County, California we were just talking about, and one in Snohomish County. But 401 cases, they're watching, and we don't have the test results out yet. Guys, look at, again, let's go to Italy. There's no way that we're not going to see the effects of this. And you remember when we first started doing the videos, we were wondering if it was a genome specific to a certain race. Maybe it was then, but with the mutations, it may be changing rapidly. But now we're seeing it affect the entire world. Iran is losing cabinet members. And in the video this morning, again, with all these folks going to AIPAC and then going back over the nation. Guys, go and look at I'll link it again, the AIPAC speaker list. Make sure these doctors and dentists aren't in your town. Or make sure that you're not going to go to a dental or doctor appointment if some of these people or whatever, or wherever you work or whatever. Just go check it out, guys. I'm extremely, extremely concerned. Today I've been busy. What I've been doing, we got grandkids in 3 different areas. And I've been finding large bags of beans and rice and stuff, because you know how kids are. Sometimes they don't listen. So we're having stuff shipped, what we can afford. Not very much, but enough to a couple of weeks, maybe they can get home to their grandparents. You know what I mean? That's what we've been doing. And places like Walmart and Target, they're running out. Even in Jackson, Mississippi, guys. Here, they're running out of the larger bags of rice. And that's going to be in some important staples. I've never been this concerned about anything in my life, and I want you to please prepare. Prepare for your neighborhood going down into a quarantine. And guys, pause and screen capture this, because it's going to change rapidly, and this was updated today at 3:23 p.m., March 7th. You can see Washington State has 107 cases with 16 deaths, California 66 with 1, Florida 8 with 2 deaths. Now, there's no other deaths in any of these states that they're talking about, but look at the states. Is your state one of them? Look at this. From Washington, New York, California, on down the line, it is spreading so fast that within a week, they could be shutting down major areas of this nation. Things are going to change very quickly. Now, here's a challenge I want to put out there, and I want to look for the answers to this in the comments, guys, because sometimes when you research something, you educate yourself very well. But these are the new daily cases, excluding China, okay? Now, you can come down here and start at March 1st, and you've got 6 days here. Now, this is just a 6-day chart. I know today is the 7th. But you've had about almost 3 times from 1391 daily cases to 3770 yesterday. So look at that over 3-day period. You know, it's not quite tripled, but do that out for a couple weeks, and do it on a proper graph. Look at the mathematics, look at the percentage of change, and get back with me. It's a heads up, guys. Be safe.